Okay, so what I wanted to do is do a full session, or basically as long as I can muster yapping, um, of me resetting in overworlds and just talking through what I'm thinking, even in on wall and as much as I can muster really. The goal is to just give you my information, what I'm thinking, maybe help educate your own decisions in the overworld when you should reset, when you shouldn't. My goal for this session today is a session in which hopefully I get a lot of NPH. So I want to enter as much nethers as I can per hour. Um, Average will not matter too much to me, but I think hovering around the 140 to 150, probably 140, is going to be good for basically everyone that wants to, sub 10, sub 9, maybe sub 8. But I think some of the information that I'll talk through will matter for everyone, even if you're going for a world record. So I don't know. I think it's always going to be useful. Just like a quick heads up on the way my wall works. On the right side is the seats that I'm actually resetting, and then the left side is like what's going to come into the right side first, next. And the way I use it personally, so I can click fast, is I'm actually looking at the left side. And then when I see something that could be promising, I click on it on the right side. It's just like kind of how my wall works. It's kind of weird, but I think it's for me because I like to go fast on the wall to really do it quickly. And if I need to give the seat some more time to breathe, then I can actually see the preview properly. Then I can like wait on it on the right side. That's like my way of resetting. But mostly I'm looking on the left side. Most of the time I'm even like clicking on the right side without looking because I'm looking on the left side and I've already decided it's a good seat. So on the wall here, I have obviously the top left is really good. Everything else is shit. These have no trees. These have no trees. I'm not going to talk about that more, but if there's no trees, I'm not going to play them. So everything else is shit, really. So I lock that. And now I'm really just looking on the left side for anything that looks even remotely promising. This one, you could argue, but no, it's too much river for my taste. This is a lagoon, which is not good. This will, like the ocean will be far away, so I'm not going to like this. This is a warm ocean, and I am 50-50 on this. Like, it's a coast, it's not an island, as far as I can tell. So I'm going to lock it in this case. But I'm 50-50 on those. I kind of just do it based on feeling. This one's good. It's a coast, but it's warm. It's the correct ocean type. This one's really good, just like the best preview we've had so far. Because it's deep ocean. I see no kelp. Same here, and same here. See no kelp, so you know it's really deep. It's really good. I keep clicking through. Moon portals. I don't like them if they have crying obsidian, so I skip them. This one's good again. See no kelp. Same here. But it's a warm ocean, but I see no kelp, and like this looks pretty deep, so I like it as well. And it's like I'm just clicking through like that. This one, it feels kind of awkward. It feels like this is not going to be deep. I'm going to lock it anyway. This one just feels too awkward to me. I don't like it. That one is mainly based on feeling, like you develop feeling over time. This one's pretty good, actually. In this case, I kind of get shafted by locking my preview percent. Probably if it was higher, I would have more information, but I really like not using my CPU on previews that I can already see. So I'm gonna lock it, and we'll see in the seed if it's good or not. I can always still reset in the seed, right? This one's like kind of similar to that, and then these two I think are both like playable. And now I've pretty much locked a bunch of seeds, so like going through them. I like to at least like get to a point where my seeds are loading before I actually check out a seed, and because I'm talking so much that I never really get to that point, but let's just play out some seeds. So what I like to do is reset in third person, full like Wake Pro, and just spin left to right in one seed, right to left in the other seed. Here, this spike's too big for me, I know that, so I know it's not a good spike, so I skip. This spike's too big, I skip. This is an interesting one, this could be real. The map list itself, either maybe or Griffin's video is pretty good for this. Got TNT. It's increase both RD and entity distance. Look for kelp. We see it. This is pretty much guaranteed that I'm gonna be playing this overworld all the way through. I do not care how like fast or slow it is, but that kelp looked good, so I'm just gonna play it. It's basically a guaranteed enter here. There's kelp closer. That actually looks even better. I keep wanting to look around the island as I'm doing things. Don't mind my mechanics, I did not warm up for this. Thing I really like to do is try to catch the logs first. Okay, this was not as good as I hoped, but it was still fine. This is definitely an enter. It's not gonna be a fast magma ravine enter. But a thing I like to do is get the logs first, so I can have a clean hotbar while crafting. I didn't really get to do it in this case, but when it happens, it always feels nice. Show that more when we get a seat like that. This slide is obviously good. It's also a magma ravine, so that's even better. What's this? Okay, it's just fake. It just didn't look fake. I know I saw better light before. I'm just kind of confused where it was. Maybe here. Okay, it's just a really weird ravine, but I'm gonna go to this lava here. And like, this is now a slow enter. Because I chose the closer ravine, but that's fine. It's still like a good enough enter for sub 10, so I'm just gonna take it. With better mechanics, this definitely would have been a faster enter as well. Not really gonna talk through the nethers. You can kind of skip ahead. This is pretty close passion, so I kind of want to see if I can quickly see how good the seed is. There's a spawner on by, so... Don't really see the fort. I'll reset if I don't really see a good reason to play. Okay, it's just treasure. I don't really want to bother playing with that during this session. Okay, good spike here, but it's back half of a shipwreck, so I don't care. Really try to like only play, especially if you're willing to take slower enters, I really try to pretty much only play quality enters. And if I take a lower quality enter, it's usually because it's completely guaranteed or really, really fast. That's my reasoning. I didn't really talk about the previous too much, but I think most of them speak for themselves. This one is debatable. I don't like it, so I'm gonna skip it. It's both the tree type and the fact that I can't really tell anything about the ocean I don't like, so I'm just skipping through. Keep skipping. None of these are any, like, even remotely good. This one definitely not deep enough. I don't like it. This one, same thing. Go. This looks pretty good because it's the right ocean type. We do see that like more sand is about to form here, but I don't know. Like feeling wise, that's a pretty good seed. Same here. Like some of it is feeling, obviously. Same here. That one just was incredible. This one looks pretty good because it looks like it goes deeper. I'm really like paying attention to the water is like the main point I'm trying to convey as much as I can, but I also don't want to like overforce it and think too hard because then I just reset slower. You know what I mean? Same here. This is like, from what I can see, it's good. It could be that it's not deep, but from what I can see, it looks good. These two that I just skipped over instinctively because they both had kelp, so they're just not good. This kelp basically shows you that it's not deep, so I just don't like this. Although this seed is probably fine, I'm just gonna skip it anyway. Just to like stay true to my reasoning. Rune portals where I cannot see the rune portal, I check them out because they could be full lobby and completable, and that's always nice. Let's see the spike here. It's pretty big. Yeah, it's a shipwreck. Spike's too big. See how I'm scanning left to right to go as fast as possible. Spike's pretty good. It's the chunk after this one, so I'm just gonna check if the Ocean here looks good. It does. Like, the ocean while I'm mining this looks like it will be pretty deep further away. Don't like the iron count in that though, so I'm just leaving. This is a real spike. Is it really this chunk? I did get it on my F5, but I was just... It wasn't what I thought it would be from further away. Okay, it's good anyway, so whatever. Gold pressure plate works here. It's like, if you do setting changes like this, then it's completely fine to think about which items you're going to craft while you do this setting change. There's no shame in that. We see Celt. Obviously, this is very good. Yeah, this looks pretty decent. I don't think I actually need to get gravel here first. Instinctively made that decision because of the ocean type, but looks like there's gravel next to it too. And this is just a very good seed, right? I didn't really play it that fast, but that doesn't matter. I reset for a good seed, and that is what matters. Right, really good enter. No closed bastion. I'm not gonna bother with further bastions because it's really about the overworlds here. The spike is weird. The reason... Okay, there's actually a point to make here. The reason I don't like the spike is look when it spikes. It spikes far away. So I noticed that instinctively, immediately. Even though the number is good, it's just because it's far away, I should know that it's fake. It's a good thing to always know. Because it's going to be in an ocean chunk. This is like a similar one. Yeah, there you go. Same thing. Really instantly trying to figure out where the spike is just really good and giving you that information. This, I don't really know what the correct way to play this is. It's just sort of a weird seed. You want a wood light. And it's not like a completable portal, so it's just really weird. There's not really much to learn here. Although there is something to learn, actually. You should always check the pie chart again after, but in this case, it doesn't matter. Crafts. Get water, and then wood lights, but I'm not gonna bother showing, like, the center. It's correct to play that, I think, but it's just... I feel like it's gonna be annoying, so I just don't want to bother with this now. I really want to focus on normal ocean resetting at the moment. Good spike. Get as much as I can from while not being in water. This would have to be a bucket list on a non-deep ocean, so that wouldn't have been good. I think it was 3 diamonds, I didn't really check. So it didn't really matter. It was 2 iron. All of these seeds are good. Like all of these, you cannot see the ocean floor, like being close, so it's just good. Same here. Same here. Well, you can kind of see it here, but you also see that it's just deep, right? Like this is just a perfect island as well. It's like if you see water on both sides, it's almost always playable. Except of course this side is just not really ocean. It's water, but it's not really ocean. Still a good seed though, so I'll still check it out. This one's just a full-on coast with a non-deep stuff, like locking this, kind of trolling. This, you don't get enough information and it looks like annoying terrain, so I'm not going to play it. This one I do like, even though there's ice in the back, which I don't like that much, but it's just something to think about. This is going to be annoying as hell, and also the terrain, but I'm still going to lock it because it might be okay. Like, it's not like the indicators that I think about immediately mean that you shouldn't play the seed, because then you just play way too little seeds. This one's just completely shit. This one's good. This one's good. This one, it's like... I don't really know. I don't know if this is a good one, but I'm going to lock it. If I don't know, I lock it. Like, if I think that's always a good thing to do. If you're like not really sure if it's a good thing or not, then just lock it, check it out, and leave if it's not good, you know? The spike's too big. there's a big spike here, and there was a different spike as well, but I couldn't find it anymore, so I don't care. Just get out. Same here, this spike is big. There's also a different one. It's too hard to find out, so I'm just out. This one's good. Okay, we get TNT, get to increase settings. This is yeah, like we just know the ocean's not that great. Also, these materials are not that great. I'm not gonna bother wasting my time on this. I should have known because of the chunk that it couldn't be real, but I double checked anyway because it's just a habit. Same here. Okay, this, you get no information, but you do know it's a lot of beach chunks. So I just check these out because they're like a pretty high chance of being a BT, even though I'm pretty likely to reset the ocean because I have no information on it on preview, and it's probably not that good for that reason. Same here. Not same here, that's just a bad seed, I mean, sorry, that was not deep. This is good, this is bad. This is pretty good. This is fine. It's like not that great, but I'm still gonna check it out. This is really, really good. I really like the seed a lot. Just, you can see how deep it is. You can see the floor, but you see that it's really deep, so it's just like lovely. Same here and same here, like these are just lovely. This is a village, don't like that. No, just real spike. I'm getting kind of rolled on materials, but playing a woodlight is not that bad if I see pretty good ravine here. I do want to check on seeds where I don't have like perfect materials. I really want to know I'm going to enter before bothering doing the crafts and getting wood and stuff. Okay, I trolled my mapless apparently. It's just, there's something there, and there's different things. Okay, spike's too big. Spike's on like 94, it's just way too big. Chunk was too far, I should have known. Deep, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit less about the previews now, because I think I kind of got my point across there, and more about in-seed resetting. I think that makes sense. Although I'll still talk about like specific cases like this one. Because of the ice, I know I'm always going to struggle finding a ravine. I just don't like that. Good. Okay, this is a real spike. Don't really get much ocean information yet, and because it's not a TNT overworld, I do want to quickly check. It looks pretty promising, so I'm looking to find a way to craft my tools here. It's just an awkward overworld. I forgot to make diamond sword. That doesn't mean I'm not going to. Okay, I know I got 3 of that log, so it's enough to make my stuff. I don't need to walk there to pick up the items. I can do that as I'm running out into the ocean. And this just looks like a really good ravine. And it is. It's a little bit awkward. I don't have my planks on hotbar, which don't matter if you do modern portals, but it does matter for me. Why am I not in here? Yeah, my mechanics are just so rusty right now. But we're not gonna talk about that. Anyway, it was a guaranteed overworld, that's why I played it. It wasn't guaranteed, but this looks like some... okay, I gotta play the seed out because there's just a fort. I might cut this in the video if it's an annoying run or something, but... Or like, just to not waste your time, I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but... although terrain seems to be stopping, it's not that great. Maybe up there. Remember, port is pause Z. Sorry, next Z. I know that because of the F3 cursor, and terrain just stops, so I'm just out. That's good, because then I don't have to cut in the video. That last seed was kelp, so I didn't like it. Don't like any of this. Do like that. Go quicker. That's good. That's good. You can really see I'm like looking on the left side. I'm not really looking on the right side anymore. And then like once I see like something that could become good, I give it like a second to breathe on the right side. This is like really specific to how I reset, but I do think it's pretty cool wall layout, and I haven't seen anyone else use it or try it really. But yeah, I don't want to force that on you. Just whatever wall works for you, obviously works for you. Like, I think wall layouts don't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Okay, locked a bunch of good seats. Let's check them out. Looks like a good spike, but it looks like a weird location. Although it is just this chunk. And I saw already that there was a ravine right there. That looks like a pretty decent ravine. The cutoff is pretty good. It's like, I don't know how to put that better in words. Although the materials just suck in the seed, so I'm out. But like sometimes you can tell that a ravine's like gonna be pretty good because of the walls being a certain, like being very vertical. That's always just good info. Spike's too big. Okay, it's just a really good spike. Okay, I forgot to swim into the block there to get a couple seconds of, or like a couple ticks of mining without being underwater. Materials suck, so I'm out. I check out seeds like this. This is like a very debatable one. It's one like we've had before where I kind of feel like it's going to be a lot of beach chunks, so I just want to check them. Although you don't really know. These two oceans both suck. I don't care about them. This one I don't have enough information. This one is fine, although the tree looks like it could be a bad tree. I couldn't really tell. This is a bad lock. I locked this instinctively, but it was a bad one. I'll remove it because just the floor looks terrible. This is a good lock. And keep looking on the left side. Don't really see sand or water on any of these seeds. This is not deep enough. Looks pretty promising. Okay, I ended up so far getting pretty low nethers per hour, but I think that's mainly because of the explaining. So maybe as we... Okay, this is an interesting seed, because I can either choose to play Woodlight. Yeah, this ravine sucks. Or I can choose to play the Shipwreck. But I don't really like the ocean enough. I had three options there. Because of the extra TNT, I could have made gold tools, enter with TNT, or I play for Woodlight, or I get an extra iron from the Shipwreck and just play normal. But depending on where the ravine is and how good the ravine looks, I would have made that decision, but I didn't really get to see a good enter. Okay, this is an interesting example of mapless, because this doesn't look like the greatest chunk for it to be in, and we also have a conflicting spike, but looks like it is this chunk. I got tin there to like narrow down the amount of chunks that I see when I F5. Oh. Okay, I still think this is real. Yeah, but I'm not digging 5 blocks underwater. That's just not going to happen. That was an incredibly unlucky one. Like 4 is normally the max you can get, but that just happens. This is a good seed, bad seed, good seed. I'll try to really speed things up now. That looks bad. I generally don't like locking seeds first and then resetting them after. Like if it looks okay enough, you can just keep the lock even though you like changed your mind after, you know what I mean? Like just keep the lock, just remember for next time. But don't waste time unlocking seeds like I did there. I just did that for the video really. Okay, this looks pretty good. I shouldn't have jumped into the water immediately because I'm just running slower now. It's definitely in that chunk here. Because I know that, I'm already increasing my render distance, trying to find information on where I'm going to be entering. Okay, yeah, materials just suck again, which is really unfortunate. That really doesn't help for NPH, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and there's nothing we can really do about that. Okay, good chunk. And good spike. Oh, unlucky. Both suck. Sucked as well. Okay, I'm unlocking. I'm unlocking because I'm explaining, but I really shouldn't. This one I don't like. This one I do like. This one I do like. Although both of these were like pretty, like they were fine, you know, they weren't good. That's a really good lock. This is mediocre. These two are really good. This one is good, although it's warm, it's still very good. That is a very lovely rune portal, but it does have crying. But it is like the perfect type for Arashi. And we just move on. This is a pretty weird spike, looks pretty far. And it is a shipwreck. No, sorry, it was a drowned ruin, but same thing applies. I'd be surprised if... Okay, that's good. Okay, this is like a pretty weird ocean, so I definitely want to force a little bit of information as I'm walking this way. I see kelp now, and I don't have any reason to believe it's bad, but I also don't know if it's good. So I'm gonna play this. I also can tell that in this ocean I'll be able to boat pretty far if I don't get to enter on that kelp. So this is just a good seed to play. Also see a rune portal in the distance, but it's hanging, so it's not completable. Or underwater. For some reason I'm not sprinting, but that's fine. As I'm boating there, obviously I'm still checking out everything here. This could have been maybe an okay place to dig down, but this just looks way better. And there we go. It's just a good seed. Okay, I don't know what's happening to my sprint. And at this point, there's basically nothing that will make me want to reset. Even if the flint rates are atrocious or the portal is hard to build, I don't really care. Okay. Ended up being pretty slow, mostly flint rates and mechanics, so that's fine. The seed was good to play. And annoying terrain to get to the bastion, so we don't care. Okay, this is a pretty weird spike. It's too far. I don't care. That's very debatable lock, so I'm not gonna really talk about it. It wasn't that great. It's good. This is bad. Let's just say it's bad. I don't really know. It's a very weird seed. Not all seeds are as easy to decide, and I think generally the rule of thumb when you don't know is just lock them. But I think I want to provide as many examples of seeds I actually want to lock on the bottom row, so whenever you're tuning in, you're like skipping ahead or something, it's always like a seeds that I would actually play on the bottom row during the video. Okay. Spike was too big, spike's too big, spike's too far, spike's too big. We ended up getting nothing there. And we just keep going. We really try to spend as little time paused after like checking out seeds as possible. Hanging portal this can always be good. But yeah, you immediately want to get back into resetting. You really just don't want to let up. That's really where like a lot of MPH comes from, is not wasting time in seeds and not wasting time on the wall or like transitioning between the two, which is one of the reasons why having a pretty long queue, like a pretty sizable amount of seats locked is good, because then you don't have to transition as much. Okay, this is the hanging portal from before, but it's just annoying as hell. That was Drowned Ruin. I wanted to check it a bit more because I saw, I heard lava pops obviously, but here there was really only one chunk it could be, so I instantly sent it on seeing that the spike was this direction. It's not a TNT overworld, so I'm like really trying to force gathering information while I'm mining this tree. Even so that I like walk to the other trees where I'll be able to get more information later before I start my crafts. We really don't see a lot on this ocean, but what we do see is that it extends. And when playing for NPH, extending oceans are always good, as long as you get a pretty decent island leaf. This is not that fast, but it definitely could have been faster if I just played mechanically well. So we really see like it kind of keeps going, but I don't want to go that direction because of the kelp. I see a ravine in my top right, but that's really far. So I'm kind of just going there, but I'm checking everything in between. And there's just obsidian here, so we're gonna play this. And then look for a wall portal opportunity. If we have to, but it looks like it might even be luckier than that. Yes. Yeah, it's just a weird portal situation that I probably should have figured out better, but that's fine. Here we go. Pretty good enter. Okay. Nether sucks. Sorry, I was kind of spaced out there. Yapping too much. Okay, this is like a really weird spike. It's like far, but it's in a chunk that could be real. Until I see like all this kelp here, but it's fine. Okay. I saw the kelp, but I also saw it wasn't in the middle of the chunk, so it's like fine. This is just really good materials. We love that a lot. But the food isn't that great, actually. Try to get as much locked as we can, obviously. This side, I don't really like too much, so I'm going to be checking the other side. Again, this is a seed that extends, so I'm just basically guaranteed to play it. The ocean doesn't really stop, so there's not really a reason to not play it. I did not check out that area. I should have. That's a mistake. We do check this ravine first. Doesn't look amazing. No, it's not. And then we see dolphins, so we hard force the dolphin. If you're playing for NPH, hard force dolphins. Although this one's fucking swimming away from me. Right. I am willing to reset pretty soon, but there's two spots I want to check. There's this zone, where there is obsidian, so we're just gonna play it. And there would have been another spot I wanted to check right there. Mechanical misplay, that happens. I could have probably saved that, but it would have been pretty slow. We have a spike and we have a lava pool. The spike looks fake, but because there's a lava pool, I'm kind of just forcing it a little bit harder, and now it looks more real, but it ended up being a drowned ruin. Accidentally clicked outside of the window there. Okay. So far we're on 9 NPH, considering like how much I'm pausing to explain stuff and then like how slowly I'm playing. I think this is still pretty reasonable. I think with this playstyle, I can get with a slower average, like 15 NPH is pretty common, reasonable. So this 9 is not that great. But yeah, obviously I'm explaining, I'm pausing to show seats and stuff, so obviously it's just never going to be the case. Really like don't want to waste time, you always want to stay locked in, really focus on the seats. And I think autopiloting on wall is okay, as long as you instantly snap back in as soon as you get a spike, essentially. Like autopiloting this this scan like this is like pretty fine, but it's not. It really depends on how good you are. Like how good you are at noticing fake spikes very quickly and not wasting time on those seats. It's interesting. I really thought it was this chunk, but 9-9 just isn't a BT, and there might have been a BT somewhere else in that seat, but it just became too slow already, like from the beginning. The ocean wasn't that great, and it was just going to be annoying, so I just don't want to waste time on it. I just want to move on. You always want to start quickly. It's fine. I was going to say it's not fine, but it actually looked more fine the more that it loaded in, so... the kelp's not great. This is... Didn't really explain the spike here, but it just instantly looked real. I'm really getting rolled in materials, which is kind of annoying, because I want to explain more about in-seat decision making, but I don't get to if I don't get materials. Yeah, you see this? That's not a good sign, but this is a good sign, so just still gonna play it. Just pointing it out. Just full lobby, I'm gonna always check that. This like personal habit of mine, if there's like a rune portal, I tend to stop the queue early, so I'm like prepared for the rune portal when it comes up. But that's definitely not something I would necessarily recommend. That one wasn't really that great, but whatever. That's because I saw the front-facing ship, it's just always gonna mess with my spikes, so definitely not gonna lock that one. You can see like on the left side, the seats really don't have that much detail by the time I'm like sort of deciding whether I'm even gonna check them out further. But all I really care about is like some sort of sand or water. But it really just becomes feeling after a while, right? So I think that explains itself. I'm not actually specifically looking for things. I'm just know which seeds I like generally, and as I've reset for a long time, that kind of becomes second nature. Okay, so this looks like a real spike, but there's some weird light. But then I also see the ravine, so I'm just investing more time in the seed. It ends up being a rune portal. Not a good one. Yeah, just because you see the enter, I think spending a little bit more time on spikes that you don't fully trust is perfectly fine. Should have given up on that seed earlier, though. Here we go. This just doesn't look that... no, it looks fine. It's fine. The leaves are really annoying. There we go. It's just real, and it's just here. Okay, this is weird seed to optimize for logs for. And I definitely wasted a lot of time doing that, but it's fine. That happens, you just make mistakes sometimes. But I end up getting the logs I need, and I'm going to the side of the island here that has the deepest looking ocean, because the other sides had way more kelp. Like, the actual kelp, not the kelp item, and that's not usually a good thing. So I really want to force this direction. Like, this is not good. That's what I'm trying to say. And I see a lot of options here, right? I can either send it down here, but that light just doesn't look that promising. There's another option here, and there's another one after, so I really want to check them all out. This one's just good, so send it down here. Okay, good enter. Really happy with that one. We'll say mechanics not, but that doesn't matter for this video. No spike, so I'm not gonna play it. Okay, both of these are interesting. They just give me bad vibes. Sometimes it's just a vibe check. Couldn't really find why I didn't want to play them, but I definitely didn't want to play those. Definitely not the one with kelp. That the one is pretty self-explanatory, but the other one wasn't as much. Same here, like this is like that other one where you can kind of tell that it's not that deep, but it could just be the coastline, but it's just a vibe thing. This does look deep, even though it's like coral ocean, which is really bad. The rest could be fine, so I'm still gonna check it. Deserts are obviously bad. Okay. Yeah. All this is just standard. I don't want to talk too much to previews anymore, or we're just gonna go crazy, I think. There we go. That spike is just odd. I don't like it. The spike's too big. I don't like it. This is too big. This is a weird one because there's multiple. It's just a shipwreck, that's why. The village, obviously, we don't want to play. Very odd one. I'm just not going to bother. This ice is not something I like, but I locked it and I'm going to stick with it. I think locking ice seeds is really good if you want to go for low average. Because if you play for... You're more likely to have a close ravine. If you're playing for NPH, you want to be really likely to have a ravine and a chance for it to be close. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense, yeah. Okay, keep going. This one I like. The other one was a lot of that, like why... you know, where the terrain is 1Y below the water, that's a bad sign for overworlds, but it's a good sign for nethers, apparently, with I don't know, the whole noise thing, but I don't like it for overall efficiency. Okay, shipwreck. That was... might have been shipwreck ravine. I kind of quit that too early. If it was shipwreck ravine, I definitely think I should have played it. Got the thing here, just in case I need to be underwater, but I definitely didn't. And we get rolled on materials again. Okay, the spike's too big. I was looking at my second monitor, so I didn't really figure it out. NPH is dropping, which is obviously fine. That's just gonna happen. I got a lot of... I just didn't get a lot of BTs. It just happens. So, like, in general, I don't think overlay stats is a good thing. Like, just having it on your wall constantly and, like, constantly looking at it is a good thing. I have mine off most of the time. I just put them on here for the video so you can kind of, like, get a feeling of how the session went. As you, like, skip through it or whatever. It's obviously a real spike. It's just very low. But the ocean doesn't look that great. So I'm definitely like looking for good materials here, which I just don't get. And this is a good spike. Maybe you would say it's guaranteed because there's turtles. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm gonna DM maybe about that one. And we got Shear's Overworld, which are always pretty slow, but obviously we see kelp. That kelp wasn't too promising, however, so I'm definitely exploring options, trying to figure out if I can see more sides of the island. This is a very stupid craft order, but whatever. And I just didn't craft shears. And I just didn't craft shears again. That just happens. Sometimes you just suck at the game. I'm still looking for if I see kelp, like, as I'm doing this. Because, like, this kelp just doesn't look like it's generated from a ravine. But since I don't really see anything else, it's still the direction I'm gonna send. And it is just real, so that's fine. And now it just looks amazing, so that's just the way it goes. And I didn't spawn in a bastion, so we're out for this video. Okay, like the spike was really close, so I immediately try to eliminate the one try to find a direction where it isn't, otherwise I would have just dug straight down. I found one direction, so it was just a chunk next to it. It's like on close spikes that can be a really useful tool to do. Insane amounts of iron here. I didn't really get any ocean information yet, so I'm trying to figure out while I'm mining if there's any F5 tricks I can do. I know that the stuff behind me is definitely not that good, so I'm just not gonna play that. Oh yeah, place out locked, that's always good. So where do we play? It's gonna be either this side and then cross over into behind this, because we don't have information on there. So that's the side I want to go. Kind of know that there's nothing here, so I want to go to the side where I don't have information. That still looks promising. Crossing the 1 minute mark, definitely starting to feel like, should I still be playing the seed? I don't really have many options. And I think at this point, I decide that this is like the last thing I want to check out, and I'm just out here. Like this cluster of like cave-ins, I guess to call it. Just checking if there's any obsidian. There's even one here, but nothing really seemed too promising, so I'm just out. I think that's the first seed. We actually had to leave like that late into the run, and that's just because I'm really paying attention to. Okay, this is just a weird fucking spike, but whatever. It's just multiple drown ruins. But yeah, like I really try to avoid seeds like that because I mean, that's the whole goal of like resetting efficiently. But in that case, I just couldn't really gather information early enough, so I just sent it and hoped for the best, and it didn't work out. That happens. That's completely fine. What is important is that even though I'd be willing to accept slow enters like a 215 enter or whatever, I'm not going to continue boating in the hope that I get a 215 enter. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to play a 215 enter if I need to get lucky to get it. I only want to play a 215 enter if I got unlucky on a seat that was supposed to be faster. Or flint rates, bad portals, whatever. You know what I mean? And this should apply to like most of, like if whatever cutoff you have in your mind, you should apply some sort of logic like that to really get more NPH as you get to that cutoff. Whether it be hard or soft. It's interesting. There's a spike there and there's a spike there. They were different chunks, but they were next to each other, and that's just never a good thing. And one of them was ocean as well, so it's like either shipwreck or drowned ruin for sure. You'll also notice that the quality of seeds that I check out is not necessarily as detailed as I started doing in the beginning of the video, and that's just because I have less information now, because I'm I'm more focused on getting a lot of good previews, or like a lot of acceptable previews, than I am letting the chunks load forever and then choosing late. As long as I can go through the seeds quickly, make decisions quickly, then I can just get some things. So you just see that's Drowned Ruin, so we just leave. Let's see, how long am I into recording now? 50 minutes already. I think I'll cut it off at the 1 hour mark. And then maybe do a stream in the same mindsets. Yeah. I think I'll try to do more streams doing this sort of resetting. Like full commentary, full educational resetting. That doesn't mean that every stream is going to be like that, but I'll try to do it every now and then. Because I do think it can provide a lot of value. There was only really one chunk it could be. So we were just looking for the extrusion and then sending it. Scalp there and a decent looking, not decent. I'd say not terrible looking ravine the other way. So there's just two options. Definitely want to explore the seed a bit more because I can't really get more information right now. I have to get closer. The kelp doesn't look that great, but I'm gonna still send it that way after checking out these two holes. That one looks terrible now that I've gotten a better look at it, and this one looks great. So. Well, it doesn't actually look great, but it has magma, so sending it is just correct, I think. This is probably a reset, but that's fine. Okay, it's just a Drowned Ruin. Too far. And that's how I knew it had to be either a ship or a Drowned Ruin. Okay. Obviously, buried rune portals you should never play unless you also have a BT. Sorry, submerged rune portals. Spike's too big, but there are multiple, are there? No, Spike's just too big. It just acted weirdly. Didn't explain that spike, but obviously it was too far. So it couldn't have been real. Terrain looks really annoying here. Ocean doesn't look that great, but if the spike's in either of these two chunks, then I'm still willing to check it out. It is just both a shipwreck and Drowned Ruins. Keep clicking through, not really getting that many previews I should even consider. There was one there, but that's fine. I'm thinking if I should, like... Okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. Maybe I should start a new session tracker session and then instantly like go full mute and just apply everything that I talked about, and see, like just show how it like actually applies and runs. But I just don't think, no, I'm not gonna do that. Just like, if you want to see me apply the things I'm saying, then just like look at my stream. Whenever I'm no mic, I'm usually focused and trying to reset as best as I can. So that's just, any of those sessions will always work. Like, I think the style of resetting that I'm doing now is like the style of resetting that I'll keep doing. I don't really think the others that I've done in the past are as correct. And there we go, just really good materials, except for it not being TNT. But 7 fish is just so high quality, I just kind of want to force to play this run. So even though I don't get that much information before crafting, I'm willing to give it a bit of extra chance, you know. Obviously behind me, that's not really the right side of the ocean to go to. You can sort of see that, it just stopped there. So I want to check this side here. That doesn't look great, nothing really goes down. There's some stuff over there, but nothing too great. This looks very horrible. So at this point, I'm looking for either a far really good ravine, a circle cave closer that I might have missed before, or a dolphin so I can just cover more distance. So this ravine was actually really promising, but it just ended up not working out. So many options in the seed, but unfortunately it looks like I didn't pick to go to the right direction. Although, maybe. Yeah, okay. This is kind of a lucky last second pull. But I still think the seed is fine to play, because at this point it's guaranteed. So even though it's a pretty slow enter, he's like not playing is just incorrect in my opinion. Now I spawn a manhunt. Oh, it's so unlucky. Cannot play the seed now. Okay, the spike is far, and I know which chunk it is. What I'm trying to discern is the height. Yeah, because that's just weird. Okay. There's just some weird... I'm actually really interested to see what went on in this overworld. So it wasn't this chunk, even though I thought it was. And it ended up being a single mob spawner without chests. So that's just really similar to my usual spike, and I don't look up numbers, so it's just fine. But yeah, I was really forcing the height information there, because if it was high, then I would have known it wasn't in the chunk that I was in, because any BT there would have been low, because the terrain was low. That was what I was trying to convey. That's fake. Okay, I think I reached the hour mark. We got 8 nethers. That's not that great. I'll play out these seeds and then I'll cut this off as a video, I think. I think during the session, most of my decision making was correct, so I have nothing to complain about there. My mechanics were horrible, but that just is because I'm talking, so that like I don't really care too much about that either. I think the NPH that we got just wasn't that great, because the amount of BTs that we ended up getting with bad materials just far outshone the amount of BTs that were like, worth playing out. So that just happens sometimes. You don't need to stress about a current session. Just look for general improvement over multiple sessions, and you'll notice whether or not you're getting better. But just give it some time to breed. Stats are supposed to be historical. They're not supposed to be in the moment. And they're supposed to be trends. So don't really focus too much on the stats of one session, even though that can be very hard. It's just always something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off here. And I don't know. I hope like the way I explained it, like let me know if there's any other things you would have wanted me to explain, or any questions that you have. You can always DM me, just boyan with 2 N's on Discord. And if you think I should try to do more sessions like this, maybe hope for a more successful one, then just let me know and I'll do my best. All right. Peace.